Hey Glenn, Rob, wanted to get your video out to you so you have some information to work on. You've done some really good work. Keep up the good work. Progress is showing, and we're going to go over some things we went over today. First thing was that left shoulder activating. This is where I tried to isolate it for you a little bit. So what we want to do is make sure we're keeping everything square, square, square. We talked about that. Basically what that's talking about is keeping this line square, square to the hips, which is keeping our hips square, which is keeping our toes square. And then when we get in the halfway back position, we're going to have that square. And all of this relates to the target line itself. We were actually coming across a little bit and having those shoulders closed a little bit where that red line indicates, and that's what we want to guard against, okay? So we're going to get rid of that. And if we get through here, let me get you back in halfway back position a little bit. You can see as if we isolate that shoulder a little bit, we're going to get in a better position right here. What I want to do right at this point is bring the hands in a little closer to the body. That's going to get this, what we've got right here, we've got a good line going on right now as far as the line, as far as our target line is concerned. I just want to get the hands in a little bit so the club stays out in front of us a little bit better. And then let's see if we take it to the top here. Yeah, so we're going to get it here, and then we get a little flatter here. Good. So the other thing we talked about, so those are the good lines. I want to keep those. All right. The other thing we talked about here, let me get rid of all of this, is getting this chin up a little bit more out of the way here, so we don't run into this blocking situation where the shoulder is high and the chin is low. We're going to get into that block. Pardon me, and that's going to make us bend this left arm, and we want to keep that straight, of course, and then keep that right elbow tucked in. So that looks really good here. The only issue I have right here is us coming out of this knee flex a little bit. So once we straighten out that knee, Glenn, it actually puts all of the weight back here onto the bottom of our right heel, and we can't play any kind of sport, athletic endeavor, from the back of our heels. So let's get rid of all of this, and then we're going to take you forward a little bit. So as we come in from here, so the biggest thing we talked about and worked on is maintaining our golf height, okay? So in our backswing, we get to this area here, and then we're making that little lunge move. So we worked on staying in our knee flex, and I like that little drill where you put the club up against your waist and make a level hip turn back, and then the level hip turn through, coming all the way around to finish, where we're rolling the left foot and coming up on the toes on the right foot. Okay, that's going to give us a complete weight shift, and by shifting that weight entirely from right to left, we're going to put a lot more energy into the golf ball, which is going to get you some of that distance that we're looking for as well. Okay, so we're going to come through. Even though we come through here, we're not finishing. You're going to see this head bob quite a bit, and that's what we're going to try to get away from. And also, we're going to end a little flat-footed here. So those are some of the issues we're going to address too. We'll talk about that later on in a little bit. So as you can see, we come through the golf ball, and we make contact. And we're finishing on around. You see how much the head actually dips down here? I draw a line, another line in here. This is where we are at impact here. So we've dropped down probably a good 12 inches here. So we want to get rid of that. Orange line indicates our drop. So we want to stay. If we're going to establish this position right here, let's at least get it established from address, all right? Because here we still have our knee flex good, right? Weight still on the balls of our feet really good. So let's maintain this position if we're going to do that and not pop up out of it. And I think once we get that level hip turn accomplished, it's going to keep us a lot more steady in here, okay? So let's look at some of the better stuff, all right? So let's get rid of some of this. Let's get rid of all of that, actually. All right, so here we're in a lot better position. If you look at our knee flex is good. We're on the balls of our feet. If I come straight down, we're going to find ourselves on the balls of our feet. That's beautiful. Okay, now, spine angle, I want to get this a little more intact. Still give me a little bit of the hunchback thing going on here. I want to get rid of that if I can, please. Like to see something that looks a little more like this. Okay, so it's going to give me getting that head back and really look. Here, again, you're giving me a little more looking on top of the golf ball than I want. I'd like to see the head back in this green line here. It's going to put the eyes in this area. It's going to give us a lot flatter line that we're going to create for our swing plane, okay? And once we establish this line like this, Glenn, that's going to put our head height about right here, and that's what we're going to want to maintain. We're not going to want to rock up and then come back down. So if we get in here and we're able to establish this nice green spine angle line right here, and then get our head height here with our knee flex and stay in that knee flex, and then just make a level hip turn from here, from our waist back and then through, we're going to have a lot more consistency in the golf swing. Okay, so let's take you through the halfway back position here. Let's get you in a halfway back and see what we got. Love the way the arms are hanging a lot better. Love the way you're standing the knee flex a lot better. Let's get this in the halfway back and see what we got. Halfway back is absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. Okay? As we talked about before, the only thing I have here is maybe just a little more wrist cock, but look at your line you created. Look at this line. Beautiful. That's beautiful compared to the target line. Beautiful. Very nice. Look at these. They match. They're identical. Very nice, Glenn. Very nice. And we're going to go on back to the top of the backswing now. Okay, we're playing around and floating that a little bit. So let's establish that position really nicely, and then we'll rotate there. So here you're dragging the club a little bit, and that's because we have the wrist cock right in here. Let's get that little wrist cock a little more defined in here so we get completely level. Remember, think about if we put that level on there, we would see that level, okay? And the shoulder's activating a little bit up here, the left shoulder. We want to keep that steady because, as you can see, the club is starting to get stuck behind you as opposed to being in front of you. As this double red line indicates, it's starting to get a little bit behind you. And of course, we want it out here in front of you. All right? So let's go to the top. Rotation move is good. It's just a little right here. See, once we get that, start to make that downward motion, see how it's all moving? Well, the arms should move and the hips rotate, but not the head, okay? See how that little move right here I've got? This is your first move down, and I'm moving that. You can notice that move. So the whole thing's moving. It really should rotate around your spine and not dip your spine, but let your rotation of your waist rotate around a steady spine, okay? We're just dipping in here, all right? So we start to dip in, we come in. Let's see our cover here. Cover is good. Very nice rotation of the hands, all right? But look at the hand rotation. You can see that's starting to be right over left like we talked about. And you're coming in directly from the 7 o'clock to 1 o'clock position. Very nice. This is going to give you a straight ball flight. All right, so we come through, impart our energy. Very nice. Now look at our finish. Get all this out of the way here. Look at our finish now. Very nice. Very little weight on this right foot. It's all transferred over. Belt buckle is left of the target. We're assuming target is here, of course. Belt buckle is left of the target. Club's over you. Rolling that left foot a little bit. Very nice. Very nice. All right, so that's what I've got for you. That's what I want you working on. Let's take a look at one more here and see if we can't get you into this one. Bear with me. Get you back, get you into this. This is where we're working halfway back again. Let's get you back here. Okay, as you can see, here we're good. And this is the thing that we want to work on too, Glenn, is getting that shoulder isolated. That left shoulder, because as soon as we move that, we talked about, because you're in a good looking position here. If I were to take this line and look at it, you know, right here, and then with my target line, you're in a good position. But as soon as we allow that left shoulder to travel, watch, boom, shoulder travels, and as soon as it does, look what it does. It puts the club head directly behind us, okay? We want that club out here in front of us, up here. So all of our lines are square and match. Okay, I'm going to draw your club head, your club shaft and line in with red so you can really highlight and see. This doesn't match anything. This is going nowhere, and it's all the culprit is this left shoulder. We've allowed it to come free and not isolate. Halfway back, it doesn't do anything. Okay, it's just forearms and wrists to the halfway back point. We're nice and level, and then we make a level hip turn to the top, and then drop in and cover from 7 o'clock to 1 o'clock while releasing our hands. Right? Made some really good progress here, my friend. Just keep working. Like I said, we're driving the car still. All right? So let's take you to the top here, get you in a position. So we've got the club a little bit stuck behind us. So it's making us drag the club. You see how that being, let me get rid of all this. With the shaft right now, because it's stuck behind us, not only that, the trajectory of the club is pointing skyward and behind us. And because of that, you're going to notice, if you watch this club head right here, you're going to notice it travels in a path that's kind of being drug behind you. Watch this. Watch that circle and how the club moves, the movement of the club. See how it's kind of being drug behind you? And what it's doing is pulling you out of your knee flex right here. So the knee flex is pulling you as the club drags behind you. You're being pulled out of your knee flex and making that knee straighten out. Okay? So we're getting to right here, and the reason you can't turn any farther, Glenn, and I want to get you to a little more turn involved in here, And the reason we can't turn any farther is because you're blocking yourself. Your shoulder's way up here, and then your chin is blocking it right here. So the shoulder has nowhere to go. So it must stop at this point. If we can get this spine angle established a little better, then we'll be able to get this chin up out of the way so the shoulder can travel unimpeded back this way a little bit farther. It's going to give us a little more back in this range here. It's going to give you a lot more power. Okay? So we've got to get the head up so we can get the chin out of the way so the shoulder can rotate a little more freely. Stayed in the knee flex. Really, really nice here. Really nice. Really nice. Still weight on the balls of your feet. Very, very nice, Glenn. Very nice. Now we're going to come in. So as we come in, okay, still, see that little first move is a lunge. A lunge. We're lunging down. Lunge, lunge, lunge. We don't want that. We've got to keep the head steady, okay? So that's what we talked about. Making that level hip turn is going to get rid of a lot of this. All right, so we come in, and here we go. Now drop in and cover. So now we come back. Now as you approach again, get rid of all this. The reason we established this in the beginning because we want to repeat it. Look at your line on your downstroke. Very nice. They match again. Good. So what we're doing is we're getting down here, dragging the club, so we're manipulating it a little bit. So we're making some manipulations that we've got to get rid of so we can keep our consistency and come back to it every time, okay? That's how we get consistent, able to hit the ball straight, 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 straight. And that's when you're going to love golf, okay? So you're getting back into it pretty good. Look how straight the left arm is now. Look how tucked in you are with the right elbow. Look how straight this left arm is. Beautiful. Command to impact, rotate your hand, come all the way around to finish. Here we go. Okay. This one got away from me a little bit. We just didn't get the rotation. If I look at the rotation of the hands, you can see they're not starting to rotate really. And what that's going to give us every single time is an open club face like this. And that's going to make the ball travel to the right. Okay? So this ball just got away from us a little bit because we didn't rotate our hands. All right? Everything else looks good. It's just a matter of, we talked about getting a bucket of balls and working on that 7 o'clock to 1 o'clock and releasing that hands. That's the right over left, right at impact. Okay? So this one got away from us just a little bit. That's okay. Everything else looks good. Let's see we're around to finish. Finish looks great, Glenn. Finish looks really, really good. Real good. Let me get rid of all this and show you. Beautiful. Look at all that weight. All that weight is transferred onto the post leg, and I see this hill starting to come up. Very nice transfer. Very nice. Remember we were standing flat foot? There was no weight being transferred. Now you're getting so much more weight transferred into your golf swing. Very, very nice. So those are the things I want you working on. You did some really, really good work. Take a look at this film. Go over it over and over. Work on that pivot from right to left. Like I said, you can use it, do it brushing your teeth, standing in line at Walmart, whatever it is. Get that weight transfer because that's going to be transferring weight or energy into the golf ball, which is going to give you some of the distance we're looking for. All right? That's what I got for you now. I will see you next Wednesday at 11 a.m. That's what I have right now for you. So right now I'm going to wish you a great big warm aloha.